Commander June Kim stared at the blue-green planet through the viewing window of the colony ship Eternal Dawn. Earth, the birthplace of humanity, lost for 200 years. It looks so peaceful from up here, he said softly. Hard to believe. It tried to kill us all. Captain Tejo Park floated up beside him in the zero-gravity chamber. His old friend had more gray in his hair now, but his eyes still held the same sharp look they had during their academy days. Not Earth that tried to kill us, Tejo corrected. The things that came to it. June nodded. Everyone knew the story. The alien ships had appeared without warning. They did not communicate. They did not make demands. They simply began changing. Earth's atmosphere, making it toxic to humans but perfect for them. Humanity had fought back, but there had been too many ships, too many aliens. In the end, the only choice was to run. Now the last humans lived on 5 massive colony ships drifting between stars, always searching for a new home. But resources were running low. Food was rationed. Air was recycled so many times it tasted stale. Water was more precious than gold. The council wants to see you, Tejo said. I think this is about your proposal. June's heart beat faster. 3 months ago, he had suggested something that many thought was crazy, returning to Earth. Long-range scans showed the atmosphere was breathable again. The aliens had either died out or left. Perhaps Earth could be home once more. The council chamber was the largest room on the Eternal Dawn. 7 old men and women sat at a round table. These were the leaders of what remained of humanity. They looked tired. They always looked tired. Commander Kim, said Counselor Han, the oldest among them. Our scientists have studied your proposal. We have decided to approve a small mission. You will take 1 shuttle to Earth. You will study the conditions there. If it is safe, we will consider sending more people. June bowed his head. Thank you, Counselor. When do we leave? Tomorrow, said Counselor Han. Choose your team wisely. This may be the most important mission in human history. Dr. Minji Lee looked up from her microscope when June entered her lab. Her small frame was hunched over her work as usual, her long black hair tied back in a simple ponytail. Commander Kim, she said with surprise. What brings you to the science deck? I need the best xenobiologist for my mission, June said. That's you. Minji's eyes widened. The Earth mission? It was approved? June nodded. We leave tomorrow. Pack your equipment. But my research will have to wait. This is more important. We need to know if Earth's ecosystem is still dangerous to humans. Minji was quiet for a moment, then nodded. I'll be ready. The shuttle was small but well equipped. Besides June and Minji, there were 4 others. Captain Tejo as pilot, Security Officer Hana Bei, Engineer Do-hyun Kang, and Communications Specialist Yuna Choi. 6 humans, returning to the planet that had birthed billions. Prepare for atmospheric entry, Tejo called from the pilot's seat. It's going to be rough. The shuttle shook violently as they descended through Earth's atmosphere. June gripped his seat tightly. They had trained for this in simulations, but the real thing was much worse. Scanners show we're heading toward the Korean peninsula, Tejo said. Old Seoul should be directly below us. Any signs of alien technology? June asked. Nothing active, Engineer Do-hyun replied, checking his instruments. But there's something strange about the readings from the surface. Strange how? Minji asked, leaning forward. Energy patterns I've never seen before, Do-hyun said. Not mechanical. More like biological, but not quite. The shuttle broke through the cloud cover, and everyone gasped. Below them stretched a landscape both familiar and alien. The bones of old buildings poked through a sea of green. Nature had reclaimed the city. Trees grew from the roofs of skyscrapers. Vines wrapped around crumbling highways. It's beautiful, Yuna whispered. Look there, Hana said, pointing. Movement. In a clearing among the ruins, something large was moving. Several somethings. Can we get closer? June asked. Teho nodded and guided the shuttle lower. As they descended, the shapes became clearer. They were animals, or at least, they looked like animals. Tigers, wolves, bears, but larger than they should be, and they moved with purpose, not like wild creatures. They're hunting together, Minji said in disbelief. Tigers and wolves don't hunt together. That's not possible. Nothing about this is possible, June replied. Earth was supposed to be dead. They landed in a flat area that had once been a park. As the engines powered down, everyone grew tense. Remember your training, June said. Full environmental suits until Dr. Lee confirms it's safe to breathe the air. Weapons ready but not aimed. We're here to observe, not to fight. They exited, the shuttle in pairs. June and Hana first, then Minji and Do-yoon, finally Taiho and Yuna. The air was clear, the gravity familiar yet strange after so long in space. The sun felt warm on their suits. Air samples show normal oxygen levels, Minji reported, looking at her handheld device. No toxic compounds. It's actually cleaner than the air on the colony ships. Keep your helmets on for now, June ordered. Let's secure the area first. They hadn't gone 20 meters from the shuttle when Hana raised her hand, signaling them to stop. Movement, she whispered into her comm. 11 o'clock. From the thick vegetation emerged a tiger, but not like any tiger from the old nature videos. This one was massive, easily twice the size it should be. Its orange coat had patches of what looked like armored scales, and its eyes looked intelligent. Nobody move, June ordered. No sudden movements. The tiger studied them, head tilted slightly as if curious. Then it did something impossible. It sat down, like a trained animal, and made a sound that was not quite a growl, not quite a purr. It's calling something, Minji whispered. More animals emerged from the vegetation. Wolves with ridged backs, birds with too many wings, small monkey-like creatures with extra limbs, all watching the humans with the same intelligent gaze. They're not attacking, Yuna said, her voice shaking. Why aren't they attacking? Because they're curious, June realized. Just like us. The tiger rose and took a step forward. Hana raised her weapon, but June put his hand on it, pushing it down. Wait, he said. The tiger stopped, then slowly, deliberately, bowed its head. It recognizes us, Minji breathed. Somehow it knows what humans are. June felt a strange sensation in his mind, like a whisper without words, a feeling of welcome mixed with caution, of recognition mixed with wariness. Dr. Lee, he said slowly, I think it's trying to communicate with us. That's not possible, Minji replied, but her voice was uncertain. Animals can't. The tiger raised its head and let out a sound that vibrated through June's entire body. Not quite a roar, but something deeper, something that seemed to bypass his ears and speak directly to his mind. Return, it seemed to say, though no words were spoken. The Forgotten Ones return, and in that moment, Commander June Kim knew that everything had changed. Earth was not as they had left it, and humanity was not returning as conquerors or even survivors. They were returning as strangers to a world that had learned to live without them. The 6 humans stood frozen as more animals gathered at the edge of the clearing. None of them had seen real Earth animals before, only videos and pictures in the ship's database. But these creatures were different from those old records. Should we go back to the shuttle? Hana asked, her hand still resting on her weapon. No, June said. I think they want to show us something. The tiger turned and walked a few steps, then looked back at them. It was clearly waiting. Commander, with all respect, following a giant tiger seems like a bad idea, Taiho said. I agree with the commander, Minji said, surprising everyone. These animals could have attacked us already. They didn't. They're showing signs of intelligence far beyond what should be possible. We need to understand this. June nodded. Hana and Do-yoon, stay with the shuttle. Keep communications open. The rest of us will follow. If anything happens, take off and report back to the colony. Yes, sir, Hana said, clearly unhappy with the order but following it anyway. June, Minji, Taiho, and Yuna began walking after the tiger. The other animals moved alongside them, Keeping a careful distance, the wolves formed a loose circle around the group, not threatening but watchful. They walked through what had once been Seoul. Nature had taken back the city completely. Trees grew through buildings. Vines covered old signs. Small animals scurried among the ruins. It was beautiful in a wild, untamed way. After about 20 minutes of walking, they reached a large open area that might have once been a city square. In the center stood a single intact building. It looked like an old museum or government building. Its steps were cracked but still solid. The tiger stopped at the bottom of the steps and made that strange sound again. Half growl, half purr. From inside the building emerged another animal. This one was a wolf, larger than the others, with silver gray fur and eyes that seemed to glow slightly in the shadows. "That one's the leader," Yuna whispered. "Look how the others make way for it." The wolf approached them slowly. It stopped a few meters away, then sat down, looking directly at June. The strange feeling returned to his mind, stronger this time. Not words exactly, but feelings, images, intentions. "It wants us to follow it inside," June said, certain of this somehow. "How do you know?" Taiho asked. "I can feel it too," Minji said quietly. "Like a pressure in my mind. Images of us walking up those steps." They followed the wolf into the building. Inside, dust motes danced in beams of sunlight coming through broken windows. What had once been exhibition halls were now strange dens. Nests made of old fabrics and papers lined the walls. Small animals moved about, carrying things, organizing them in ways that seemed purposeful. In the center of the main hall, a large, circular space had been cleared. The tiger and wolf led them there, then sat on opposite sides of the circle. Other animals gathered around, watching. "What now?" Taiho whispered. As if in answer, the tiger made a new sound, and a different creature entered the circle. It looked like a monkey, but with longer limbs and fingers that seemed more human-like. Around its neck hung what looked like pieces of old technology, woven together into a kind of necklace. The monkey creature approached June and looked up at him. Then it reached up and gently tapped June's helmet. "I think it wants us to remove our helmets," Minji said. "Is that safe?" Yuna asked. Minji checked her equipment again. "Air readings are still normal. No detected pathogens. If they wanted to harm us, they've had plenty of chances." Slowly, June reached up and unlocked his helmet. There was a soft hiss as the seal broke. He lifted the helmet off and took his first breath of earth air in his life. It was rich, full of scents he had never experienced before. Earth smelled alive in a way the recycled air of the colony ships never could. The others followed his example, removing their helmets. The monkey creature made a sound of satisfaction. Then the tiger stood and walked to the center of the circle. It sat down directly in front of June, eyes level with his. June felt the strange pressure in his mind grow stronger, more focused. Images flashed through his head. Alien ships in the sky, Earth animals dying from the changed atmosphere. Then, something new, animals changing, evolving rapidly, growing smarter, learning to work together, and fighting back against the aliens. "They're showing us their history," June said aloud. "After we left, the animals adapted to the changes. They evolved." "That's impossible," Minji said. "Evolution takes millions of years." "Not with help," June replied, the information somehow flowing into his mind. "The aliens changed Earth to suit themselves, but they didn't count on Earth fighting back. Something in their technology accelerated evolution. The animals changed in just a few generations." More images came to him. The evolved animals working together to fight the alien invaders. Long, bloody battles. The aliens retreating to certain strongholds on the planet. A stalemate that had lasted for decades. "They've been fighting the aliens all this time," June said, amazed. "They've been protecting Earth." The wolf stood now and moved next to the tiger. Both animals looked at June, intently. A new feeling pressed into his mind. A question. An invitation. "They want to know if we've come back to fight," June realized. "They want us to join them." "Join them?" Taiho looked skeptical. "Against the aliens that drove us from Earth in the first place?" The ones we couldn't defeat with all our technology? The monkey creature chittered and pointed to Yuna's communication device. It made gestures like it wanted to use it. Hesitantly, Yuna removed the device from her belt and held it out. The creature took it carefully, then did something shocking. It began to manipulate the controls with obvious understanding. The screen lit up. "It knows how to use our technology," Minji breathed. The monkey handed the device back to Yuna. On the screen was a crude map, clearly drawn by the device. It showed their current location and another location about 50 kilometers away. The second location was marked with a symbol they all recognized from history lessons: the radiation warning sign. "That must be an alien stronghold," June said. Tiger made a low rumbling sound, and June felt agreement in his mind. "They've been waiting for us," he realized. "All this time they remembered humans. They've been guarding Earth until we returned." The wolf stood and walked a small circle, then made a sound like a howl, but controlled, almost musical. Other wolves joined in. Then the tiger added its roar. Birds screeched. Smaller animals chittered and called. The sound filled the old building, echoing off the walls. "What's happening?" Yuna asked, looking nervous. June felt a wave of emotion wash over him. Pride, hope, determination. "They're celebrating," he said softly. "They call themselves the war beasts, and they've been waiting 200 years for the forgotten ones, for us to come home." The tiger approached June again. This time it bowed its head low, almost touching the ground. The other animals followed suit. Even the proud wolf lowered its head. In that moment, June understood what they needed to do. "We need to contact the colony ships," he said to his team. "Tell them Earth is waiting for us, but we're not just coming home." He looked at the gathered animals, these impossible evolved creatures that had kept faith with a species that had abandoned them. "We're going to take our planet back." General Do-Yoon Choi stared at the video feed from Earth with narrowed eyes. His lined face showed no emotion, but his knuckles were white as he gripped the edge of the table. "You expect me to believe this, Commander Kim?" he asked. "Animals that can think, that can communicate with you, that have been fighting aliens for 2 centuries?" "I know how it sounds, General," June replied from the video screen. "But I have sent you the evidence. Dr. Lee's biological scans, our video footage, the radiation readings from the alien strongholds. Earth is not empty as we thought." The 7 members of the council sat silently around the table on the colony ship. They had been in emergency meetings for 3 days since the first reports came back from the Earth mission. "Even if what you say is true," Counselor Han said slowly, "what do you expect us to do? We barely survived our first encounter with these aliens. We have 5 colony ships with limited weapons. We cannot fight a war." "We don't have to fight alone," June said. "The war beasts have been fighting for generations. They know the enemy. They know the terrain. They need our technology, and we need their numbers." "War beasts," General Do-Yoon repeated, shaking his head. "Listen to yourself, Commander." "With respect, General," June said firmly, "you need to see this for yourself. Send a second team, larger this time, with proper military support. Let them meet the war beasts. Then decide." The council members looked at each other. Finally, Counselor Han nodded. "We will send a second mission," she said. "General Do-Yoon will lead it personally. If what you say is true, Commander Kim, then history will remember you as the man who found our way home. If not..." She left the threat unspoken. "Thank you, Counselor," June said. "We will prepare for your arrival." In the days that followed, June and his team worked closely with the war beasts. Communication was difficult at first. The mental images and feelings the animals could project were limited. But they were learning fast. The tiger, who June now knew was called Hyuk, was particularly quick to understand human speech. The wolf pack leader, Suk, was more cautious but equally intelligent. "They recognize words," Minji explained as she worked in the makeshift lab they had set up in the old building. "They can't speak them because their vocal cords aren't made for human speech, but they understand more every day." "How is that possible?" Taiho asked. watching as Hyuk carefully examined a tablet computer. The same way they evolved so quickly, Minji said. The alien technology did something to their brains, made new connections, and they've passed these changes down through generations. June was about to reply when Yuna rushed in from her communications post. Commander, the second mission just entered orbit. They'll be landing in an hour. June nodded. Tell Hana to guide them to our location, and let Hyuk know we need to gather the leaders. General Doyun Choi was not what most people expected of a military leader. He was small and thin, with calm eyes that missed nothing. But there was steel in his voice when he spoke, and the 20 soldiers who had come with him stood at perfect attention. So these are your war beasts, he said, looking around the gathered animals with undisguised skepticism. They stood in the large clearing where June's team had first landed. Hyuk and Suk sat at the front of dozens of evolved animals. Birds circled overhead. Smaller creatures watched from the ruins. Yes, General, June said. This is just a small group. There are thousands more across what used to be Asia. And based on what they've shown us, similar groups exist on every continent. Show me this communication you claim is possible, the general demanded. June nodded to Hyuk. The massive tiger approached slowly, careful not to appear threatening. He stopped in front of the general and sat down. Then he fixed his golden eyes on the old soldier and concentrated. General Doyun's face changed. His eyes widened, his mouth opened slightly. After a long moment, he took a step back. What did you see? Counselor Han asked. She had come with the second mission, too curious to stay behind. War, the general said quietly. I saw war through the eyes of a tiger, fighting creatures that were not from Earth, losing friends, winning, battles, years of it. He looked at June. It was real, not just images. I felt what he felt. They call it the Long War, June explained. They've been fighting for longer than any human has been alive, and they're losing. The aliens have technology they can't match. That's why they need us. From behind the group of war beasts came a new animal. It was an elephant, but not like any elephant from the old records. This one was smaller, more agile, with armored plates covering vital areas of its body. Around its massive head was what looked like a crown made of metal and wires. This is Jin, June said. He's their strategist, the equivalent of a general, in their ranks. The elephant stopped beside Hyuk and fixed intelligent eyes on General Doyun. The mental push was almost visible in the air between them. A pincer movement, the general said suddenly. Eastern approach through the river valley, artillery support from the ridge. He looked at the elephant with new respect. You're showing me your battle plans. Jin nodded his massive head once. They've been studying the alien stronghold for decades, June explained. They know every approach, every weakness, but they need our weapons, our technology to exploit those weaknesses. And what do we get in return? Counselor Han asked. Earth, June said simply. Our home. A place where our children can live under. Open skies instead of metal ceilings. A future that isn't limited to recycled air and water. For the first time, hope showed on the counselor's tired face. There's more, Minji added. The war beasts have developed abilities we don't fully understand, yet, beyond intelligence. Some can heal injuries at remarkable speeds. Others can sense things from great distances. If we can understand how the alien technology changed them, it might help us too. General Doyun walked slowly around the gathered animals, studying them. When he returned to the front, he looked at June. You're asking me to commit our limited forces to a war on the ground. A war we already lost once. We lost because we fought alone, June said. We won't be alone this time. As if on cue, a howl went up from beyond the ruins, then another, and another. Soon the sound was coming from all directions. Suk tilted her head back and added her voice to the chorus. Birds screeched above. Even Hyuk let out a roar that seemed to shake the ground. There are thousands of them, in this region alone, June said over the noise. All waiting for the signal to gather, to fight alongside us. When the sounds finally died down, General Doyun turned to Counselor Han. I've led soldiers for 40 years, he said. I know allies when I see them. He straightened his back. I recommend we accept this alliance. The war beasts have kept faith with Earth. It's time we did the same. Counselor Han looked at the gathered animals, then at the humans who had returned to Earth after so long. Very well, she said. Tell the colony ships to begin preparations. We're going to war. She looked directly at Yuk and Jin. Together. Yuk bowed his massive head. Jin raised his trunk in what seemed like a salute, and in Jun's mind, he felt a wave of emotion from all the gathered war beasts. Hope. After 200 years of fighting alone, they finally had hope. 1 month had passed since the alliance was formed. The landscape that had once been Seoul was now filled with activity. Shuttles landed daily, bringing soldiers, equipment, and supplies from the colony ships. Temporary buildings had been set, up among the ruins. Training grounds covered what had once been parks. Jun stood on a hill overlooking the base camp. Beside him, Hyuk watched the humans with curious eyes. Your people work fast, the tiger projected into his mind. The mental communication had grown stronger with practice. Now Jun could understand not just feelings and images, but actual thoughts. We've had 200 years to plan our return, Jun replied. Though we never imagined it would be like this. Below them, human soldiers trained alongside war beasts. It had been strange at first, humans working with giant wolves and tigers, with birds that could speak into minds, with monkeys that could handle weapons. But they were learning to fight as one force. Commander Kim, a voice called from behind them. Jun turned to see his younger brother Woo Jin walking up the hill. He had arrived with the third wave of shuttles, volunteering as soon as he heard about the mission. The War Council is gathering, Woo Jin said. General Doyun sent me to find you. Jun nodded. Tell them we'll be right there. As Woo Jin left, Jun looked at Hyuk. Are you ready for this? The tiger's mental voice was solemn. We have waited generations for this day. We are ready. The War Council met in what had once been a government building. Maps covered the walls. Around a large table sat the leaders of both humans and war beasts. General Doyun and Counselor Han represented the humans. Jin the elephant, Hyuk the tiger, and Suk the wolf represented the war beasts. Jun, as the link between the two groups, sat at the head of the table. A new member had joined them today. Subin, an evolved falcon with feathers that shimmered with an almost metallic quality. She perched on a special stand, her sharp eyes missing nothing. Subin has returned from scouting the alien stronghold, Jun announced. She will share what she saw. The falcon fixed her gaze on the center of the table. Suddenly, all present could see images in their minds. A vast structure, partly buried in the earth. Strange lights pulsing from within. Alien creatures moving. Around it, tall and thin with too many limbs. They know we are here. Subin's mental voice was crisp and clear. They are preparing defenses, and they are creating new weapons. The images changed. Now they saw animals, but wrong somehow. Earth, creatures with metal parts growing from their bodies, eyes that glowed with unnatural light, movements that were stiff, controlled. They are changing animals, Subin continued, controlling them, making them into weapons. Like they tried to change Earth before, Minji said from her position near the maps. But this time they're targeting the wildlife directly. General Doyun studied the mental images carefully. How many of these controlled creatures do they have? Hundreds, Subin replied, growing more each day. Then we must move quickly, Jin projected. The elephant's mental voice was deep, thoughtful. Our plan must change. We cannot fight a direct battle against our own kind. We have a new weapon. That might help, Minji said. She motioned to Do-hyun, who placed a small device on the table. We've been studying how the aliens control the animals. They use a signal, broadcast from their stronghold. This device can disrupt that signal, but its range is limited. We would need to get close. How close? General Do-hyun asked. Within 1 kilometer of the central structure, Do-hyun replied. The room fell silent as they considered this. Getting that close to the alien stronghold would be nearly impossible. I can get it there, Hyuk said suddenly. All eyes turned to the tiger. My kind are fast. We can slip past their outer defenses. It's too dangerous, June objected. If they detect you, if we do nothing, they will turn all our wild brothers and sisters against us, Hyuk replied. This is worth the risk. General Doyoon nodded slowly. Very well. We will create a diversion, attack from multiple sides, draw their attention. Meanwhile, a small team led by Hyuk will deliver the disruptor. I'm going with him, June said firmly. Commander, you're too valuable to risk, the general began. With respect, General, I understand Hyuk better than anyone, and he understands me. We have the strongest mental link. We have the best chance of success. After a moment, the general nodded. Very well. The mission is set for tomorrow at dawn. May whatever gods still watch over this planet be with us all. The night before the battle, the camp was quiet. Humans and war beasts rested, preparing for what was to come. But sleep did not come easily to June. He sat outside his tent, looking up at the stars. Woo Jin found him there and sat beside him. Nervous about tomorrow? The younger Kim asked. Trying not to think about it, June admitted. The soldiers are talking, Woo Jin said. They say this alliance is changing us, that some humans who spend a lot of time with the war beasts are starting to feel the mental connection more strongly. Some can even sense each other's thoughts now, not just the animals. June nodded. Dr. Lee has noticed the same thing. She thinks the same process that changed the animals might be affecting us too, just more slowly. Does that scare you? Woo Jin asked. June thought about it. No. It feels right somehow. Like we're becoming what we were always meant to be. Part of Earth again, not separate from it. They sat in silence for a while, watching the stars. Get some rest, June finally said. Tomorrow will be a long day. Dawn broke with a red sky. Human soldiers moved into position alongside their war beast allies. Artillery units took up positions on the hills overlooking the alien stronghold. Falcon scouts circled high above, relaying information through their mental links. June checked his equipment one last time. The disruptor was secure in his pack. Beside him, Hyuk stretched his powerful muscles, ready to run. Remember the plan, General Doyoon said over the comm link. Main force attacks from the east and north. Artillery provides cover from the western ridge. Commander Kim and the Tiger team approach from the south while their attention is divided. Understood, June replied. He looked at Hyuk. Ready? The tiger's mental voice was calm. For 200 years, my kind has waited for this day. We are ready. The signal went out. The battle for Earth had begun. Human weapons fired alongside the natural abilities of the war beasts. Wolves moved in coordinated packs, taking down alien defenders. Evolved monkeys threw specially designed explosives with perfect accuracy. Birds dropped small bombs from above. And through the chaos, a man and a tiger ran together toward the heart of the enemy stronghold, carrying the hope of two species with them. June and Hyuk moved through the shadows at the edge of the alien stronghold. The sounds of battle echoed behind them. Explosions lit up the sky. The diversion was working. This way, Hyuk projected into June's mind. There is a tunnel entrance, ahead. They found the opening partly hidden by overgrown plants. It was narrow, clearly not made for the aliens' use. Probably dug by smaller animals over many years. How did you know about this? June asked as they crawled through. The small ones see everything, Hyuk replied. Mice, rats, they go everywhere. They share what they see with us. The tunnel opened into what had once been an underground parking area. Now it was filled with strange equipment. Lights pulsed along the walls. The air felt wrong somehow, heavy with an energy June could not name. The control center should be above us, June whispered. We need to get the disruptor as close as possible. They found stairs leading up and began to climb. Suddenly, Hyuk froze, his ears flattened against his head. What is it? June asked. They come, the tiger replied. Around the corner appeared 3 animals. They had once been wolves, but now they were wrong. Metal parts grew from their bodies. Their eyes glowed with an unnatural blue light. They moved with stiff, jerky motions. Controlled, Hugh growled. They will alert the others. The controlled wolves charged. Hugh met them head-on, his massive body blocking the narrow passage. June raised his weapon but couldn't fire for fear of hitting Hugh. The battle was quick but violent. Hugh was stronger than the controlled wolves, but they felt no pain. They fought until their bodies broke. When it was over, Hugh stood bloody but alive over their bodies. Go, the tiger projected. More will come. I will hold them off. I need you with me, June argued. The mission is what matters, Hugh replied. Get the disruptor in place. Free our brothers and sisters from control. I will find you after. June wanted to argue more, but he knew Hugh was right. The mission had to come first. With a nod, he continued up the stairs alone. The control center was easy to find. It pulsed with light and energy at the heart of the stronghold. Strange machines filled the room. In the center stood a pillar of blue light that reached from floor to ceiling. June moved carefully between the machines. He could hear the aliens now, their strange, clicking language coming from nearby rooms. He had to be quick. The disruptor needed to be placed as close to the central pillar as possible. June reached into his pack and pulled out the device Minji and Doyun had created. It looked so small against the alien technology. As he approached the pillar, an alarm sounded. Red lights flashed. The aliens had detected him. June ran the last few steps and placed the disruptor at the base of the pillar. He activated it just as the first aliens entered the room. They were tall, thin creatures with too many limbs moving in ways that hurt to look at. Their faces had no features June could recognize as eyes or mouths. They carried weapons that glowed with the same blue, light as the controlled animals. The disruptor hummed to life. The blue pillar flickered. The aliens made high-pitched sounds that might have been alarm. One raised its weapon toward June. He dove behind a machine as it fired. Blue energy scorched the wall where he had been standing. The disruptor was working, but too slowly. The aliens would destroy it before it could fully activate. June needed to buy more time. He fired his own weapon at the aliens. One fell, but more were coming. He couldn't hold them all off. Then a roar echoed through the room. Hayuk leaped through the doorway, covered in blood but still fighting. Behind him came Suk and her wolf pack. They had broken through. The disruptor needs more time, June shouted. Then we will give it time, Hayuk replied. The war beasts attacked the aliens with fury, driving them back from the central pillar. The battle was chaotic. Blue energy weapons fired. Claws and teeth tore into alien flesh. June fought alongside the war beast, protecting the disruptor. Then the pillar began to pulse more rapidly. The disruptor glowed brighter. A wave of energy burst outward from it, washing over everything in the room. The aliens screamed. The blue light in their technology flickered and died. The entire stronghold shook. "It's working!" June shouted. "We need to get out now!" They fought their way back to the stairs. More war beasts were coming up, joining them. Outside, they could hear the controlled animals suddenly stopping their attack. The alien control broken. The ground shook more violently. The alien stronghold was collapsing. They ran through tunnels and corridors, finally bursting out into the open air. Behind them, the stronghold imploded. A massive cloud of dust rose into the sky. Then silence fell over the battlefield. Slowly, from all directions, the formerly controlled animals approached. They moved normally now, the stiffness gone from their bodies. Many were injured from the metal parts that had been forced into them. "They are free," Suk projected. "The alien control is broken." Word spread quickly through the human and war beast forces. Cheers and howls filled the air. The battle was won. But victory had come at a cost. Many had fallen, both human and animal, and Hayuk was badly wounded, barely able to stand. "Get him to Dr. Lee," June ordered. Several wolves carefully moved to support the massive tiger. As night fell, fires were lit around the camp. Humans and war beasts tended to their wounded. The alien stronghold was a smoking ruin in the distance. This was only one stronghold, General Doyun said as the leaders gathered. There are others around the world. But now we know we can win, June replied. Together. 1 year later, June stood on a hill overlooking what had once been Seoul. Now it was becoming something new. Not quite a human city, not quite a wild place. Something in between. The first permanent settlement was taking shape. Buildings rose from the ruins designed for both human and animal inhabitants. Gardens grew food for both species. Children played in open areas while young war beasts learned to hunt in nearby forests. Beside him stood Hyuk, fully recovered from his wounds. The tiger had a new scar across his face, but his eyes were as bright as ever. "What do you think?" June asked, looking out over the new settlement. "It is as it should be," Hyuk replied. "The forgotten ones have returned. Earth is whole again." From the sky came a familiar screech. Subin circled once, then landed on a nearby rock. "The southern region is clear," she reported. "The alien outpost there has been abandoned. Our scouts found no sign of them for hundreds of miles." One by one, all across the world, the alien strongholds were being defeated. Some were fought over, in fierce battles. Others were simply found empty, the aliens retreating as their control systems failed. Earth was being reclaimed, piece by piece. Dr. Lee approached, carrying her equipment. "Commander, I have those test results you asked for." "And?" June asked. "It's happening to all of us," she said with a mix of wonder and concern. "The longer humans stay on Earth, the more we change. Our brains are developing new pathways. Some children born here already show signs of mental communication. We are becoming like them," June said, looking at Hyuk. "And we are becoming more like you," the tiger replied. "We learn your words. You learn our thoughts. In time, there may be no difference." On the plain below, a shuttle landed. More humans arriving from the colony ships. Each month, more came. The war was not over, but Earth was home again. "Do you ever wonder what will happen when the last alien is gone?" June asked. "When the war is finally over?" Hyuk turned his golden eyes to the horizon. "Then the real work begins, building a world where both our kinds can live, where neither is forgotten again." June nodded. He could see that future now. Humans and war beasts living and hunting together, the things that feed with us. Not pets, not masters, but equals, partners in the new Earth. Together they walked down the hill toward the growing settlement, toward home.